One of my hopes when I was growing up as a teenager to be a policeman, and I applied, and I was glad when I was successfully became a member. When I first applied, my family was, especially my mother and father, were really behind it because they have real high regard for the police force, and they thought that it would be real good if I did join the police force, and they were behind me 100%. As a motorcycle police officer, my main job is in relation to issuing moving violations, stopping vehicles for going through red lights, stop signs, and then my secondary job would be in relation to issuing parking tickets for vehicles parked illegally throughout the city.
You're always a policeman, so you're always a leader, and to be a leader for somebody from, let's say, a minority community is ever more important these days than it has been in the past. Working in the organization, you're treated no differently than anybody else. You have the same opportunities as the man or woman that's alongside of you. So you know, we obviously are encouraging greater participation by the community in the police force, and Sir Robert Peel once said that the community of the police and the police of the community, and we really believe that, and in order to appropriately reflect the community, we need to have people of different backgrounds in the organization to make us, or to give us an opportunity to do a better job.
Okay, let's go. Come on. I'm happy that I chose a career of a police officer. It's opened a lot of doors for me. It's enabled me to provide myself with, I would relatively say, a good standard of living. It enabled me to give lots of students here that I teach have an interest in the police force. You know, there's no typical days. It could be slow, or we like to work 12-hour shifts. So it could be slow for the first 5 hours, and then for the remaining 7, it could be not a chance, you know, run your feet off. Simple calls could turn into something very serious. Incidentally, one I went in with a parking complaint, and it turned out to be weapons, you know, incident, and it's nothing that you expect. So you always have to be, you know, downtime, change to high time quickly. Pick up a lot of knowledge, you get to meet a lot of people. I have my certain aspirations of where I want to go, what I want to do, but it definitely is a career for me.
Well, I didn't really know what to expect from police work, but I like it. Yeah. It's something I've always wanted to do since I was in high school. I can't really tell you why, but it's just something that's always attracted me. I've never been attracted to an office job, or police work has stood out for me. We're all treated the very same. I'm treated the same as my partner, who's a male. I don't think either of us receive any different treatment. We have the same opportunities. We can write the same competitions or go on the same courses. Just about any woman can do it if she really wants to. There was a couple women at the academy. They were 5'1", and they made it, and they're working as police officers now. So there's your proof.
Well, I grew up in this community. Matter of fact, I was born on Creighton Street. It was just around the corner from here, and all my friends lived here, and I spent a lot of time in the community when I was growing up. One time, I was trying to remember back, my brother and a few other guys were involved in a fight at a dance, and they happened to get locked up for the evening. And I went down to the police station, and I ran into who is now the chief of police, Chief McDonald. And at that time, he was a constable, and I ran into him at the rear door. And he was doing desk duty. And we became involved in a conversation just about police work. And at that particular point, I think it was about an hour that we talked. And I became quite interested in the things that he was telling me. At that time, there was only one black officer at that particular time, and myself and another gentleman applied, and we were both accepted to that position, went through the procedure. My mother was a little leery. I was only 18 years old at the time, and she was a little leery about it, and I can remember the first time I took my uniform home. My grandmother was alive at that time, and I can remember her crying and giving me a big hug and stuff like that. And I found it hard to start out with, because I came right back up to in my own community, and people that I had dealings with my own self growing up, that would give me a kick in the behind and send me down the street. And here I was coming back in my community, and sometimes having to deal with some of their problems. But I would give kids advice nowadays. It'd be, if they want to join, it's a great profession to be involved in. What I do like about it, I'm not doing the same thing every day. I enjoy that. I enjoy going to work and not knowing what's going to happen the next day. It's not like going from the office from 9 to 5, but there are certain situations or sacrifices they're going to have to make too. You work a lot of weekends. I just hope that, that eventually that people who are thinking about becoming involved in police work, will come down to apply. It's a great profession, and I've been here 24 years, and I still enjoy it after 24 years. So I think a young person who was thinking about joining this profession would probably have the same feeling.
I think the police training really helped me grow up a lot. I grew up, in a family atmosphere, with two parents. They guiding me through my life. And then when I went to Ontario, I was on my own totally, and it taught me how to deal with people, and deal with them myself without looking to my parents for guidance. It really helped me grow up a lot. We are there to help, and we do help a lot of people in all types of circumstances. Could be an emergency circumstance where someone has had a heart attack, and we respond just like an ambulance would respond. And if we're there first, then we would perform CPR. My favorite part of the job is just working with the other men and women on the job. It's almost like a close-knit group. I mean, we work together every day, and it's not that you're very often going out with them on your days off too, whether it's out on the town, whether it's out playing sports. We have our own basketball little tournaments and the in-house thing. It's a very close-knit community, and we need that because it brings you closer, and when you work with all these people, you need to trust them, especially in the job we do, and it really brings you closer when you not only work, but you play with them.
Well, I know that a job I didn't want to be behind a desk 24 hours a day. I didn't want a job 9 to 5. I wanted to be outside. I like dealing with different types of people. I like the variety. When you come to work, you don't know what's going to happen that day. It sort of gives it a little bit of excitement. I enjoy that, the unknown, I suppose. I made the decision to become a police officer. I was in university. I was taking sociology and criminology, and that led towards the fact that I wanted to be a police officer. The training was really enjoyable. You learned a lot about yourself, what your abilities and your limitations, and how to draw upon your fellow police officers, and you learn to support each other no matter what happens, and you can get everyone through. You don't have to wear a uniform for your whole career. You can go into plain clothes. You can be involved in drug work, which is undercover. You can work in morality. You can go detective, and that works in larger crime investigation. So you don't have to be in uniform the whole time. It depends on what you want. There's a horse department, there's a motorcycle department that's a different uniform, but also there's other varieties that you don't have to go in uniform for. I'd like to get into identification for my future plans. Identification involves going to a crime scene and taking the fingerprints, doing the photography, and sort of piecing together what happened, and being able to figure out the crime and find someone and link a suspect to it. This job offers a lot of security, I find. It's quite good pay. You start off at lower amount, but after 3 years, you're up to a first-class constable, which makes a substantial jump in pay. I have an apartment and a car, and I'm very comfortable. I feel very secure in my job. There's a lot of men that have, or females that have family members, and they're supporting the whole family on this salary. and it's a very comfortable job, and I feel secure knowing that this job is going to be with me for quite a long time, because there's always going to be areas that need policing, and it's not really an occupation, I think, that may suffer cutbacks. It's a great job. You become very independent. You become very self-assured. You become it's a good salary, and it's a job that you can be challenged at, and you can go to every day, but then you can leave it at home and you can still be a normal person. I mean, some people have these sort of ideas that police officers are these big hulking things, and they're I don't know what they think of them, but we're normal people, and it's a job that you can enjoy and you can do well at, and when you leave it, you have a satisfaction that you've done a good job. I don't have to make any sacrifices. It's just being a police officer has added to my life and hasn't subtracted from it.
One of the characteristics of being a good police officer is being someone that is caring for the community, caring for people, being able to do your job effectively.
I think every young man or woman has an opportunity to make a difference in this country. We need people like yourselves on the police department.